My name is Prateep Kolia, or PK for short. I studied at Anglia Ruskin from 2007 to 2010, and I studied sports coaching. I traveled down to Cambridge with my parents. There was a talk by Dan Gordon himself, and originally I was looking to come and do the sports science course. So Dan's experience and Dan's sort of involvement in sport really sort of sold me as one of the core tutors that would be leading the course, really. So I think the personnel sold the course for me. Speaking to a few of the different lecturers, but then also just the city of Cambridge was a big pull for me. I remember very vividly, and I tell a lot of people that when I drove out into Cambridge and driving past Parker's Piece, I just thought this would be such a cool place to be studying as well. So yeah, very much a mix of Dan's opening talk, which I'm sure it'd be great to hear, but also the city of Cambridge itself was a great sell as well. I would say the practical learning I thought was probably one of the best things about the course. Being able to put into practice what you were learning theoretically was just such a good way to be learning, and it helped my learning abilities as well. Very much a person that learns through doing rather than the reading side of things. So I would say sort of the practical learning was great. I guess the having to do a lot of writing as well sort of definitely helped me develop academically as well. A lot of coursework, which really you had to then really work on your writing style of how you would be communicating to the reader as well. So I guess the sort of the practical learning, but also the sort of the academic sort of writing side of things as well. It was just fantastic. I think having a great set of friends on the course was a key thing for me. I still keep in touch with a few of my course mates that were on my course that are in different fields now, in sport or outside of sport. So I think that was definitely a key thing for me. Bob Chalice was sort of the lead for the coaching science course, and he was a great asset, a great lecturer to have involved in the program as well. Bob was someone that was going through sport development himself, so he was writing his PhD, and it was very much involved in the judo scene as well. So having a lecturer that was that had experience, but also was having sort of real life experiences as he was teaching us was just great to have that sort of have those touch points with him as well. I guess the course also helped me develop personally through engagement in different ways of being in seminars. So having to debate with my peers, having to be able to put an argument together and say, no, this is why I think this is why we should be doing something, which is what I'm using in my day-to-day life now. So being able to influence people, and that's what you're trying to do through a seminar. You're trying to influence people with your decision making or your argument that you're trying to present as well. So few of those little things I thought were just great, and stuff that when I reflect on, you don't really think about it at the time, but now I'm starting to use those things day to day. Things like time management as well, communication, using different communication styles, the way that you get to your peers, or the way that you would communicate to your lecturers or other academics. You have to vary that style. So from the age of 18, you were learning how to do that, and because you can't speak to everyone in the same language or the same tone at times as well. So it was such a good course to develop personally as well. The other extracurricular activities that I developed when I was at AIU was actually quite wide ranging, and I would say that those extracurricular activities sort of really were the basis of where I've ended up today. While I was in my 3 years while I was studying at the university, I was volunteering with the FA, which I had found that opportunity myself, but the teaching staff at AIU really supported me and really encouraged me to pursue that and make sure that any opportunities that came up with the FA, that they would allow me to sort of to attend those, and for it not to affect my studies, I was able to catch up on lectures and seminars and things like that as well. So while I was volunteering with the FA, I was involved in their Young Leadership Academy. So working with national managers of participation at the FA and developing football programs for young people. So being able to have those experiences and then write about it in my coursework was absolutely fantastic. I was involved in BUCS, so British Universities and Colleges Sport as well. Again, was just putting into practice things that I was learning on my course, which was great. I managed to get out and coach in schools as well, within Cambridge and Cambridgeshire, which the university helped us with, which was great. Again, so when we were learning around sort of talent ID, and then being able to put that into practice into schools, and thinking about things like coaching pedagogy, and thinking about how you would lesson plan and reflect, and all situations like that were just fantastic as well. And I guess the other fantastic thing as well was working. I had an opportunity to work within a school sports partnership as well. So this was about regional sports councils coming together and how they were servicing sports in schools as well. So I was able to sit on a school sports partnership board for 2 or 3 weeks while I wrote a sports development plan, which was absolutely just fantastic. Fantastic opportunity to be within that sort of situation and to be liaising with different teachers and different sports managers of all the different counties within that school sports partnership to then put into my sports development plan for my coursework, and I ended up getting one of the highest grades I did while at Anglia Ruskin for that piece of coursework. And I think it was because I was put into that situation and I had those people around me to be able to feed off as well. The time on the course prepared me for my career by providing those real life experiences. As I've just said, there's a whole host of different experiences that I was privy to, and being able to go out and coach, not just learn about coaching in a classroom, but actually being able to go out into schools and put into practice different ways of coaching was great. Being able to network with people from around Cambridge and Cambridgeshire that are involved in university sport and school sport, and people that were private sporting organisations, speaking with national governing bodies. We had the opportunity to, because of Bob's links, we were able to have access to the judo national governing body. So it was fantastic that we had those real life experiences that when I first started on my career pathway, that I had a reference point of, I've had experience of this. I wasn't just going in cold into my first ever meeting with a school sports partnership, or going to my first ever meeting with a national governing body. I'd already had that sort of foundation level of experiences. So the sports coaching course for those 2 years really gave me a foundation level that when I graduated from university and got my first job within 6 months, I had such a good starting point to go from. real life experiences, as I've just said. I think that was great. Passionate staff, great staff, engaging coursework. So coursework that really made us think about what we were doing and putting it into practice as well. It was exciting as well. We were the first cohort to go through that coaching science pathway, so it was great to be part of the sort of the guinea pigs, to be honest. So it was quite exciting to be on that course for the first time. I am currently working for the University of Nottingham, Ningbo, China, and I am a sports participation manager. I was brought out here nearly 3 years ago to really drive the participation program at the university. So the core aspects of my job is about increasing participation within students and staff at the university. That's driven by trying to develop an international sporting system here. So the university were delivering sport for 12 years, but with no real sporting experience. So they started to recruit international staff members to come and develop sport at the university. So we've really been working on developing the participation program here at the university, working with student clubs and staff clubs. We're now starting to work with students about volunteering and getting them more involved in coaching and event management. I run a sports leadership program as well, so trying to work with students that see sport as a positive aspect and can see the positives of being involved in sport that might help them in the future for when they graduate, for future employability as well. I do a little bit of marketing for the department as well. So I've been tasked with trying to put together a marketing plan and putting together our branding guidelines about how we communicate out to our customers and how people's experiences when they come to the sports center at the university as well. And the other aspect of my job is managing our adventure sports program. So we are trying to be very unique in how we deliver sport here, and we don't want to just deliver the run-of-the-mill types of sports and activities. So we've developed a very cool adventure sports program where we've got an adventure sports manager who takes students out on very cool experiences like climbing and Via Ferrata and caving and going whitewater rafting and things like that as well. So that's another aspect of my sports participation role. My degree helped me with this role because everything that I learned within the course, I'm actually now in some shape or form involved in day to day. Whether that be from talent ID, working with some of our PE teachers and coaches about how to identify talented athletes, to writing development plans for different sports, writing strategies for sport, delivering participation programs, using data to get insight to understand trends, like why are people participating in sport in different ways? Why are people coming to use the gym at certain times? Why are people coming to certain sessions but not coming to other sessions? So all of these things I learned through my degree course. So everything is I'm sort of now able to put into my day-to-day activities in some shape or form. I think first of all, be a sponge. Use your time at the university wisely. Network with the academics that you're exposed to, but also then start to widen that network, not just within the four walls of the university, but widen it outside of the university. Use the city that you're in. there's so many opportunities for you to go and volunteer as well. I would say, hands down, volunteering was probably the biggest thing that made me stand out when I graduated. I had as I had my degree, which I did okay. I could have done better. I know that, reflecting on my time, but what I did have was a very healthy set of volunteering opportunities, real life experiences that made me stand out when I graduated. So I would definitely say go and volunteer, like try and get involved into any opportunities that you can, um, and be a part of it, and really throw yourself into it, because volunteering, people really understand that you're giving up your time, so they want to help you. They want to make sure that you can fulfill something through that opportunity as well. Some volunteering opportunities may feel mundane, they may feel a bit samey, that you've done something like this before, but just stick at it, because the more that you give through volunteering, the more that you'll get out the other side as well. Enjoy your time at university. Like I said, I probably didn't get the grade that I should have, and I don't know if I should be saying this, but I enjoyed my time. When I reflect back, like I felt that I maximized my university experience of learning, having a good time, but also getting into those volunteering opportunities. Those three areas, when I reflect back, I'm like, yeah, I didn't leave anything. I pushed everything as far as I could, and I had such a positive experience being at university, making good friends, being involved in a good course, and then doing those extracurricular activities. I feel that it's just set me up in how and where I've got to in my career so far as well. One of the topics undergraduates sometimes consider difficult is writing reports. And you are in such a great position now to really develop your writing style, and how you communicate in a written fashion, whether that be on emails, whether that be a formal report, whether that be writing a strategy. You're in such a great position that you can develop your writing style while you're at university right now. You can speak with your lecturers, you can understand like what communication tone works, how you should be phrasing certain elements. It's certainly helped me when I was at university and having to write a lot of coursework and a lot of writing a lot of courseworks that I can now apply now. Even writing my dissertation, I sometimes go back and refer to it from time to time, because the way that I was able to put my literature review together was a great, it sort of put the arguments in a really good fashion. So I really think that writing styles can be scary. It can seem like a bit overwhelming, but if you think of it in a positive way, you've got a great opportunity to really develop how you write reports, how you write formal letters, how you write strategies moving forward as well. Sometimes undergraduates feel that communication is a difficult topic or concept, and I'd agree with you. Definitely in my first few weeks of being at university and being in this whole new world, communication was actually quite difficult, especially when it came into the classroom environment as well. Outside the classroom, I think it's fine, but within the classroom, you're with people that are of slightly different abilities. We had people that had been involved in sport for 2 or 3 years. They were mature students. Then we had students that were sort of younger students as well. So that environment can seem daunting at times, but actually, if you see it as a positive, it was a great way to be able to network with people. And likewise with your tutors, with your lecturers as well. um, you have a great chance to be able to communicate with them and how you communicate with them. I learned a lot about email communication by speaking to my lecturers through email. And again, that sort of gave me a foundation level about how to communicate on email with people that are senior to you. Because when you're going through college, you don't really have courses where it's like, this is how you write an email, this is how you structure an email. But you get to learn that while you're at university and you're communicating with your lecturer. You're going back and forth on, okay, you need to improve this part of your coursework or this part of your dissertation, and then you're learning how to communicate that and how you're going to put your feelings across on email as well. So I definitely see it as a positive opportunity for you guys to improve your communication skills while at university.